Hello everyone, it's Scott, and today we're going to be playing Boros Convoke during Murders at Karlov Manor standard season. And Boros Convoke has become one of the stronger decks in the format. I want to take it out for a spin to see if it's as fast as advertised and to give you some ideas of how to use the deck effectively when you're playing it. So let's dive in and examine what's in our deck. So first, we've got two Yodian frontliners. Okay, gives us artifact creatures that are important to us. We'll talk about why in just a second. We've got 4 copies of Novice Inspector. Again, we're trying to create that clue token. We've got 4 Wardens of the Inner Sky, something we can go ahead and buff up by tapping 3 untapped artifacts or creatures. We've got 4 copies of Voldaren Epicure. Again, we create a blood token when you play it. We've got 4 copies of Resolute Reinforcements because we want a lot of bodies on the field. We've got a copy of Sanguine Evangelist, and it creates a bat token, and then also when it dies it creates a bat token, and when you attack everybody gets +1 who's attacking, so it gives us a little bit of a combat advantage. And we got 4 Emidane's Recruiters. In the adventure side of this, trained troops we probably won't be playing very often, but primarily we're playing Emidane's Recruiter for its ability that whenever it enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1 and gain haste until the end of the turn. And we also have 4 copies of Knight Errant of Eos, and this is our card draw for the deck. When you convoke it into play, for each creature you convoke, okay, you can select a card up to that mana value. And a lot of times we're doing it for at least 3, so we can at least get access to every other card in the set that's a creature except for Knight Errant of Eos. But there's certainly going to be times when we go ahead and convoke it for 5 on the hopes of getting a Knight Errant of Eos. All right, so those are the creatures in the deck. Now, key things to talk about here. So first is Gleeful Demolition. Gleeful Demolition is an important spell because we are going to be creating artifact tokens, whether they're clues or blood tokens, and to target those with Gleeful Demolition and create with that 3/1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens. So that's going to fill our board up pretty quickly, and if we get everything to go right, we can do that on turn 2. And if we really go nuts on turn 2, we could even play a Knight Errant of Eos because it's possible to have 5 creatures on turn 2. Okay, now in supporting roles here, and probably the most important supporting role is War Leader's Call. It gives all your creatures +1/+1, but very importantly, when a creature enters the battlefield, it does 1 damage to each opponent. In the gameplay you will see that ability play a significant role in winning game after game after game because it pings your opponent down to a place where 1 attack with your full team is probably going to be enough to win the game. For removal in the deck, we've got Case of the Gateway Express for 1 and a white mana. You get to, when it enters the battlefield, you get to choose a target creature you don't control, and that creature receives 1 damage for each creature you control. Our goal is to go wide with the deck, and there may be occasions when we play this even if we don't have an opposing creature we want to kill, but we do have 3 attacking creatures because to solve this case, you have to attack with 3 creatures, and then when you do, when it's solved, then all your creatures get +1/+0. Again, another buff to the creatures in play. All right, in our mana base, we've got 2 Ajangos, 3 Plains, 3 Mountains, 2 Sokenzans, 4 Battlefield Forge, 4 Sundown Passes, 3 Caverns of Souls, and a Mirex as another way of making a artifact creature. In our sideboard, we've got a couple of End the Festivities. Okay, if we're playing a deck like ours, we want to be able to wipe out their 1/1 creatures. We've got 3 copies of Lithomatic Barrage when we're playing white or blue decks. We've got a couple of Lantern Flares, again as a way to gain a little bit of life, but also, hopefully then be able to kill a larger creature by using its base ability. We also have 4 copies of Wedding Announcement, again another way to generate tokens onto the battlefield. And then we have a copy of Get Lost and 3 copies of Thalia for games when we're playing against decks that are going to be playing primarily spells against us and they're not really highly creature based. Thalia can come in and help us slow them down enough so that we can win the game before they have a chance to complete their game plan. All right, so that's the deck. It played really well for me today, and we'll take a look at that game footage, and I'll be back with a wrap-up after our third match. Thanks. I'll see you in a moment. All right, we're playing the Boros Convoke deck in Platinum, and we go first. Hopefully we get a playable hand. We do. That's good news for us. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play the Sundown Pass first here, so that way we can get Recruiter down next turn. Or so Epicure down, and then Novice Inspector down. Okay, they're playing Skrelv. Okay, since they're doing that, I'm going to play the Epicure, and I'm going to play the Warden here, and we'll go ahead and tap for Warden's ability, making it 2/3. And we have a Cavern of Souls coming. Guess we'll keep that on top and use that as our third land, and we can use the Django as a removal spell. Okay, they play their Schooner. Okay, we'll play our Cavern. We'll play it on humans. We're not going to attack. And I'm actually going to play these two over the Evangelist, because I can then use the tokens that they're going to create to pump up Warden to a 4/5. Okay, so we'll tap our tokens here to give it +1/+1, and Scry will take that definitely next turn. And we'll go ahead and tap these guys, making it a 4/5. And of course, we'll keep our Gleeful Demolition there. And now we can go ahead and attack. And the great news for us is Warden of the Inner Sky now is also a blocker every turn as well as a attacker. So unless they've got something that can kill it, we're in pretty good shape here. Okay, they get their own Warden. And they do have a Get Lost to kill our... Okay. So that's unfortunate for us. They're going to go ahead and crew their Schooner. Yeah, and I'm not really worried about this damage here. 3, it's no big deal. Because we're going to be able to swing back for a bunch. I'm actually going to play Gleeful Demolition first here. Try to get our guy, get some more blockers out there. And then see if we can... Okay, good. So that's a good card for us next turn, because that'll get us some additional damage. We'll do this so we can push through a little bit more damage this turn. And then next turn we'll have the +1/+1 for everything. So we're in pretty good shape here, and I'm actually just going to go ahead and play this because we know we're going to need it potentially next turn. Okay, the one thing I am a little bit concerned about is a board wipe here, but we'll have to see if this is the artifact deck or if it's something else. Okay, and they're gonna give up there. Great, that helps us out a lot. We know they're playing a lot of white stuff, and blue stuff. So we're gonna bring in our Lithomatic Barrages to help us out here a little bit. I'm gonna get rid of a Knight Errant. I get rid of, I think I'm going to get rid of these two to get me back down. Now the question is, what am I going to bring in? I think we're going to go with that, and then if it proves problematic, we'll go ahead and get Lost and Lantern Flare in for the next game. And Opponent didn't even want to try. All right. Well, that's a quick victory. Guess we had fun on that one. Another hand where we, well, I'm going to keep, this could be a total blowout for the opponent, but I'm doing this because I've got Epicure, I've got Gleeful Demolition, which means that I can play a Knight Errant of Eos on turn 3 if I can keep my stuff in play. Or just draw land somewhere. Okay. They take 1. They play Fairy Mastermind. Okay, so they're going to be ahead on damage here. Really could use that this turn. Any kind of a land. Great, we got a good land. Okay, we'll Gleeful Demolition. Let's see if they have a card that can kill my token. Okay, they're just going to make disappear it. Okay, so that really hurts us, unfortunately. So we're where I was hoping to get ahead. Yeah, their counterspell really hurts us in that situation. We will be able to hopefully get some stuff going here on the next turn. So that'll help us out quite a bit. Okay, they're going to go ahead and attack. Okay, we will play the Ajango. We're going to play this War Leader's Call to get some extra damage in. Assume they have a removal here. Yeah, they're going to go for the throat that, but that's fine for us. Okay, and then next turn, we have the possibility of, in case of the Getaway Express, we could even play potentially Knight Errant of Eos if we get the right thing. Okay, opponent has a lot of land. We have a lot of, unfortunately, we have a lot of things that cost way too much for us right now. So this is kind of the hose you side of the deck that you can get hosed if you unfortunately don't get the things that you need. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, but the good news is here we've got them down to 7, and despite our problems, we've been able to do stuff. Okay, it looks like they're going to probably try to make us both draw cards, so they can draw 2 cards here, which is okay. Nope, they're going to Takenuma, and wow, that turned out they get a Malcolm back, which is fine. It's not a big deal in the big scheme of things for us. And they're going to scoop it up. Wow, that's a little bit surprising to me that they did that at that point in the game. Very quickly they did that. I'm going to bring in Thalia here because I want something to deal with their spells that they're going to be casting, so we'll do that. We also want some life gain, so we'll bring in Lantern Flare here. So I'm going to take out, I think, both Yodian Frontliners here because we're bringing in some other stuff. Our Sanguine Evangelist can come out. I'm going to take out a Knight Errant of Eos, and then we'll go from there. And my rationale here is I want to slow their stuff down that they want to play, and getting Thalia down is a pretty good way to do that. And if they have to then target it, then we're doing good. And we have had really unlucky draws so far. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get Knight Errant of Eos because that's the farthest away. Okay, play that. Okay, so that gives us coverage to get Thalia into play. Okay, that means we're going to lose War Leader's Call or Lantern Flare here. I don't think we're going to lose Gleeful Demolition since we don't have it, but yeah, they're going to get rid of War Leader's Calling because that's obviously one of the best cards for me. We'll go ahead and get Thalia down to slow them down a little bit. Now, hopefully we can go ahead and get our third land so we can get started here. But we've had some unlucky draws here as part of this, so hopefully we'll get something going here. All right, we got Cavern of Souls. We'll make it human. Okay, we'll get our first recruiter down. Okay, and we're definitely just going to go for it here because we need to push damage as quickly as we possibly can. And if they're willing to trade their Gix for our recruiter, that's fine with us. And hopefully we can get one of our enablers and we can get Gleeful Demolition going. Oh, that's bad for us. So they've gotten off to a really powerful start here, and we just need a little bit of luck to kind of get back in the game here. But we're going to lose our recruiter probably, yeah. So now we're in really bad shape that they've got all their creatures and we can't attack, and we can't really do anything, unfortunately. But we are going to Lantern Flare here and kill that. So we get our recruiter back at least, gain a life in the process, and we'll pass. So that worked out decently for us. Obviously, if they put a Shealder or something like that down, then we're in really bad shape, but we'll have to see what they've got here. Okay, they're only going to attack with the Spy, Glass Siren there. Okay, so that's good for us. We get a Warden. And I'm going to hold off on Emadane's recruiter here simply because I don't want to attack into Ledger Shredder and just die because that doesn't make a lot of sense for us. I'd rather go ahead and get another land or two, play the adventure side of it, trail troops and get 2 night tokens. And we're not losing here badly, even though they've got a better board state than we have. So I'm okay with kind of holding things where they are because they've gotten a lot of land so far. Okay, and they're going to kill everything, and that sucks for us. Okay, and we'll pass there since there's not much we can do, unfortunately. We'll see if they attack. They do. All right, so that potentially will work out for us as we play our Resolute Reinforcements. Okay, we do get another land. We'll go ahead and attack here. And I am taking a chance by doing this, but I think it's a chance that I should take here in this situation and hope they don't have a counterspell. And looks like they don't since they're creating their token, their Mirrex token. And we'll see if they cut one down. That's fine. It's something that they can't use against Emadane's recruiter later. Deep Cavern Bat, they'll get our Gleeful Demolition, which in the big scheme of things right now really doesn't matter to us because there's nothing we can do with it anyways. Okay, and they're going to take out our other knight, so they've gotten really lucky with removal here. And they're just going to stay back, so we'll stay back as well, I guess. And we'll leave our recruiter on adventure, and hopefully we can stop drawing land. Okay, now they're gonna, so all right, so they've got this one. There's not much we can do here, unfortunately. We just drew incredibly badly, and they drew pretty well overall. Because of now I know they've got the Ledger Shredder in, we're gonna do that. I'm actually gonna take out the cases because they're not going to be as helpful. I need for sure removal, and they're not for sure removal. So we'll just take all 4 of those out. We'll get a Get Lost and 3 Lithomatic Barrages in. And I think that's where we're going to leave it. And we'll hopefully be able to get something going early. We won't have to mulligan our opening hand, which is one of the problems I see with the deck right now. Its current configuration is we end up having to mulligan a lot game 1. Or turn 1, we end up mulliganing a lot. All right. Well, I'm going to play that and hope we draw into a white mana. Okay, Spyglass Siren. Okay, we get an Epicure, perfect. And we're going to just go ahead and pump up our Warden here. Okay. Since I'm looking for a white source, I'm going to send that to the bottom because I've got things I can play. I just need to go ahead and get them out there. And we just need a land at this point to hopefully get our War Leader's Calls down back to back, and that'll make a huge difference in the game. Okay, so we're going to either lose Barrage or one of our War Leader's Calls. So that's not terribly damaging, but it's not ideal either. Okay, so they left us with the Lithomatic Barrage, so that's okay for us. Okay, and they've got a Gix, which they're actually sending away, which is great for us. All right, we do get it. Okay, and we'll go ahead and attack with both. Okay, they're willing to trade. We'll take that. And then next turn we can get Thalia down, which will put us in a pretty good position for really going after them. All right, so they got to go for the throat, so that didn't work out for us as well. All right, so now we'll get Thalia down. We'll get a damage in. And we'll hold on to Lithomatic Barrage in case they get a Ledger Shredder, because that's really what we're most concerned about, is Ledger Shredder. All right, outstanding. We get a Gleeful Demolition. We'll see if they've got a counterspell. They don't. We get those 3 activations, which is huge. Okay, do they have a removal for Thalia? They do have a cut down. So we're still in good shape. They're now on really a 2-turn clock, and if they play anything blue, we've got Lithomatic Barrage to take it out. Okay, they play their Gix. Okay. We're not going to attack. We'll play safely here. And we're going to create a Murex token. And that'll give us our Gleeful Demolition opportunity. So we'll put a stop in on the end step. We'll see if they attack. Okay, they don't. I'm going to go ahead and create my Murex token. Okay, and we get another damage. So War Leader's Call has done 5 damage so far, so that's been really helpful to us. All right, so I'm going to play Warden, see if they've got anything. Okay, get another damage. Play Gleeful Demolition. Okay, get 3 more damage. And they scoop. Yeah, I mean, War Leader's Call was the bomb there. It just took over the game. Every time we're putting creatures on the field, we're knocking them down. And on that one, depending on what they had, we would have been able to do 4 damage and plus the 3, so 7. So they're at 3. And then we've got 5 attackers or 6 attackers for the next turn. So if they don't have an answer for it, we simply just win the game. So nice win for us there. All right, we're playing Boros Convoke in Platinum. Okay, so we've had pretty good success with the deck so far, but this has been one of the constant problems we've had, which is on our first draw we end up having to mulligan because we don't get 2 lands. Okay, we've got 2 lands here. I'm going to go ahead and keep this, and I'm actually going to the Sundown Pass back, so that way we can go ahead and get things going immediately, because I want to be able to keep playing stuff. So we'll do the trade-off of maybe not having a 3rd land when we need it, so that way we can continue to play everything else. Okay, and we get rewarded there with another Sundown Pass. So we'll go ahead and attack for 1, and we'll play Resolute Reinforcements on their end step, and then go from there. So it looks like they're maybe playing the Golgari deck, but we'll have to see. And Golgari is one of the decks that we have some problems with. And the reason we have problems with it is they have things like Glissa and big cards like Shealdra that are just difficult for us to work around. But we have 2 Getaway Expresses, and I'm actually going to play one here, so that way we get the bonus right away and get our creatures up to 2 1s. So the downside of that is we didn't get to destroy something. Okay, they're playing this little tie version. We didn't get to kill something, but hopefully right here we will with Nissa. Okay. And we'll play it again. Give everything another boost. Attack for 8, 9. Okay, and they're at 7. We'll play War Leader's Call, so they'll all be 4 power, so we should be able to win on the next turn. But very fast, very efficient approach. Oh, no. That's unfortunate. All right, we'll play War Leader's Call here, get that down, and then we'll be able to throw our Yoda Frontliner down next turn. Okay, they play Slogurk. So it looks like they're playing some graveyard stuff here. And they'll be able to gain some life, unfortunately. Play human. And we're going to go ahead and activate this. Take the draw here. All right. And we'll play Frontliner. They can take a damage, and they can either block it or, yeah, which is great for us, get their card off the field. Okay, and that goes to the graveyard. They can put up to 3 target lands from the graveyard into their hand, so they're able to do that. Get a couple. Hopefully we'll be able to get, the worst case scenario is we throw Knight Errant of Eos down next turn, and now it's a very large creature. Okay, they're playing Jace. We'll see if they're milling themselves. Yeah, so they're milling themselves to get things into the graveyard. That's good for us that they got rid of the 2nd Terror Tide. Okay, good. So we'll play this. No. Okay, so we'll play Warden. Oh, and it tapped wrong for us. Okay. And we'll just wait until next turn. Unfortunately, I played that wrong. I should have made sure it tapped Iganjo so I could throw another Iganjo down, but that might not be bad for us. All right, they have Atraxa, and that's game for them. All right, well, that was unfortunate that they got the board wipe when they did. And just Atraxa's, you automatically win with Atraxa, so we'll just go ahead and concede at this point because we don't have any way of killing Atraxa. All right, so we'll bring in these and hope. And it is a little bit of hope here. And we're going to bring in our Thalias. And the reason we're bringing these in is because we're going to take 2 knights out because it's just going to be really hard to play those. We'll take out a Resolute Reinforcement. And we'll take out a Frontliner, and we'll go from there. We'll see if we can stay in the game here. you know, unfortunately, they got 2 board wipes, basically. And anytime you play Atraxa, you know, you basically win automatically if you don't have an immediate removal spell for it. Okay, so the good news here is we can play. The bad news is that we do not have something that's going to create a artifact so we can use Gleeful Demolition. So hopefully we can draw into something that'll help us here with that. Okay, they're using those lands effectively. Yeah, I'm actually not going to play Thalia here. The reason I'm not is I want to get War Leader's Call down, because that's the card that's going to matter the most for us in this particular matchup. Okay, we get another land. We get Sundown Path. Oh, whoops, nope, not that one. Okay, go with War Leader's Call here. Guess they have a cut down. So they're going to kill our Warden. And that's okay. It's not the end of the world. But what this also allows us to do is kind of start going. But they're going off with their strategy here, gaining life, playing stuff, getting stuff in the graveyard, reanimating stuff. So they've really gotten off to a very, very solid start, where we unfortunately have not. But now things are going to change a little bit for us, because we're going to get the battlefield full of creatures here, do some damage with War Leader's Call, get our Thalia down, make it a little harder for them to play some of their stuff. And we'll play Emidane's Recruiter next turn and hopefully attack for a good amount of damage. Okay, they play another Aftermath Analyst. Okay, we'll see if they've got anything else. They do. They have another one, so they're going to gain another life. Okay, we get Resolute Reinforcements. We're going for it, though, because we just really need to. And Resolute Reinforcements we'll be able to play on the next turn, and that'll be fine for us. Okay, we'll kill one of them. And we're going to, I think, that's lethal. Yeah. All right, we got him. All right, yeah, and that's the power of this deck. You get War Leader's Call out, you get an Emidane's Recruiter. Things can go really fast for you. And they had a good start, but they didn't have a nutso start, so that allowed us to stay in the game there. All right, they're right back at it. They're not making any changes. We're not making any changes. So let's go get them. All right, we've got stuff we can do here. Not a perfect starting hand, but a decent one. We'll see what we draw here. But we've got good things we can do early. We'll see if they're gonna, I guess they mulligan, so they're down to 6. So that helps us out just a little bit. And we'll see if we can draw into an Investigator or an Epicure. Okay, we draw into a War Leader's Call, which is outstanding. So again, we probably are going to go ahead and not play Thalia on turn 2 if we get the land and we know we're going to be able to play it. Okay, we don't get the land. Okay, we'll go ahead and attack. And I'm going to play this because they're probably going to try to get rid of it. Now the good news is they don't have any black mana, and black mana is the mana they really need to get their game going. So do this, get another one down, attack him for 3, get him down to 17. Okay, now they've got their black mana. Okay, they play Jace. Okay, they're going to self-mill. Draw a card. We get a Battlefield Forge. We're going to play Emidane's Recruiter here. And we're going straight to the face with everything. Put them in a place, hopefully, where we've got lethal next turn, especially if we get a land. We can get lethal. And we got them. Awesome. Awesome, awesome victory. And that's the thing is when you can have that one Amadane recruiter's turn where you go ahead and basically double down on your damage, it gets them down to low life. And if they don't feel like they can deal with you, then they tend to go ahead and concede at that point. So that got us to Platinum Tier 1. All right, we're back for our post-game wrap. Now this is version 2 of the deck for me in my playing of the deck. The first version was a little bit more clunky than this version of it, so I took out 2 Yodian Frontliner because I initially had 4, ended with that 4th Warden and 1 Sanguine Evangelist, and the results show that that was probably a pretty good move for me because I won at 75% of my matches. Okay, went 6-2 overall, very good. Diverse field of decks we played against us. So I feel like we're competitive against almost everything with the Boros Convoke deck. On the play, we won 64% of the time, so very nice win rate when we're on the play, and 44% on the draw isn't bad. It's enough that we're winning enough that we can win matches that way if we have to end up on the draw twice. So overall, very happy with the deck. I still think there's a little bit of tweaking to happen with it over time. I think there's got to be a way to get some lightning helixes in here. I don't know if that means we cut a case. I think maybe Sanguine Evangelist is the thing we cut because we've got a lot of redundancy in giving +1 to things with the case of the Gateway Express, with our Imidane's Recruiter, and also with our Warrior's Calls. So I think we probably get away with not having that in the deck with 12 ways to, or 11 ways to get to +1/+1. I think that's enough in the deck to get us over the top and go underneath our opponents. So that's the deck. Hope you enjoyed the video and the gameplay footage, and I will see you next time when we'll look at another new deck from Standard for Murders at Karlov Manor season. Thanks. I'll see you next time.